deaths. I mean, non-COVID deaths as deaths. They're driving me so crazy I can't even talk right. Anyway, pathologist message. It would be a mistake to distrust testing because of DeWine's experience. Telling us how to think again. If you run a test enough times on enough people, the odds are you will occasionally get a false negative or false positive. Antigen test. First test DeWine took was the rapid test to detect the presence of antigens, which are proteins on the surface of the virus. It involves taking a nasal swab and placing the specimen in a solution. Results can come back in less than an hour. Yeah, you test for antigens, you could test for any kinds of antigens, not just the CV antigens, okay? This is a very broad umbrella term. You need to understand that. Antigens can exist in just about anything that has protein. So, I don't know where they're getting off testing for antigens. It's no wonder he tested positive the first time. For F's sake. DeWine planned to greet President Donald Trump, rapid test before interacting with the President. DeWine took Keto Corp's antigen test at a mobile testing site in Case Western parking lot. The ministered health through... Yeah. Anyway, it goes on to say more crap, but I think you get the gist. This guy is scamming us and scamming everybody else. It's a psyop. It's designed to make us panic because he had it. Oh my gosh, I guess I need to be careful because even if a high-ranking guy like DeWine gets it, then I guess I gotta really be careful. It literally worked on no one. Now less people believe you than they did before, okay? And my reasoning behind this is, you asshole, is because I'm now seeing more and more people come into stores without masks. I'm seeing more and more people go outside to parks, tearing down stupid caution tapes off of publicly accessible buildings and what have you. People getting into fights with the librarians at library branches where I'm at, saying I'm going to use my library because my tax dollars go towards this library, and you're not going to tell me I can't come in here because I don't have one of your stupid Sharia compliance devices on my face. So, yeah. We don't believe you anymore, is essence of what I'm saying. Moving on. Wanted to move on to this. This was the day before, about garbage human being who fled from another state and came here, and I guess was found in Akron. I'll let you read this. I'm not going to really spend time on it. The context is tragic and awful. This person is a garbage human being. But they showed several of these kinds of articles over the past few weeks to kind of get us ready and groom us for these kinds of things. You know, the Dayton shooting last summer, that was designed to get us more and more desensitized, alright? Because it happened right here in our state. Oh my gosh, we gotta do something about it. Gun violence is spiraling out of control. People are murdering people with guns, blah, blah, blah. And then the next day, this. DeWine decrees gun violence. Governor DeWine on Thursday limited a recent spat of gun violence across Ohio, including last week's fatal shooting, 8-year-old Michaela Pickett in Akron birthday party, and deadly weekend in Cincinnati, where 18 people were shot, 4 of them fatally. Across the state from August 14th to Thursday, the governor counted 56 people shot and 17 killed. Enough is enough, he added. There's legislation pending before Ohio lawmakers that would address gun violence, particularly in helping keep those most likely to commit gun violence off the streets. He called the Akron shooting gut-wrenching, said Michaela will never graduate from high school, never walk down this aisle, never know the joy of being a parent. She and her family were robbed of all the incredible joys that life has to offer. DeWine is advocating for increased penalties for people who illegally have guns or sell them to minors. So much wrong with this. So much wrong with this. There is no such thing as people illegally having guns in the United States of America, you garbage piece of crap. Let me say that again. There is no such thing as people illegally having guns. Selling them to minors is possibly a different story depending on the context because they're impressionable, they're young, they don't know what they're doing. But here is the unequivocal truth You SOB. Okay? Ya sick lizard creature. Alright? Are you listening? You can't tell us, anyone, that we have guns illegally. Because there's no such thing. There's no such thing as having a gun illegally. No, there is not. Let me see if I can bring this up real quick. Scan. Let's see. Article 1. Okay. Amendment number 2. A well-regulated militia, being necessary to the security of a free state. The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. You get that, you son of a bitch? You get that? There is no such thing. No such thing as illegal possession of guns, armaments. There is no such thing. That is a garbage lie. You are a garbage human being. By my satisfaction, your governorship is now invalid. You are now you've now committed treason against your state. Yeah. Yeah. You're a traitor to your country. You're a traitor to your country. So do not tell us. I cannot even imagine what these people have gone through, alright, because of some sick SOB. But the solution is to not control the guns. The solution is to go after the mentally ill. Only after you have established that's what it is, not on hearsay. Not because some SJW prick who wants to ruin somebody's life says so. You don't get to go there. You don't get to do that. That's not your job as governor. It's not your place. US 242, Section 18C says that you have committed high treason against your people. Alright? You don't get to make these decisions. Why do you think you have the right to declare yourself God? Because you are not. We are a free people. We deny your so-called laws. We reject your so-called agenda. It is not for us. Anyway, let's move on. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. Why this is on here, I don't know. Let's see here. Houston also said the state continues to work to assure that voters' ballots will be counted amid increasing nationwide concerns that cuts to the U.S. Postal Service will hurt the mail-in voting process. Are they trying to warn us that this, like, somebody with a conscience knows that this is BS and just kind of slip this in here, saying, hey, look, this is another reason why we need to be careful about the elections, because SOB right here is going to try to make it where he can pretty much use any reason to take your gun from you. Step out of line just a little bit. You say anything against the agenda, then you could suddenly have your guns confiscated. See, that's where it's going, guys. Though this article doesn't say this directly, oh, well, it's the mentally unstable. Yeah, you can declare anybody mentally unstable, okay? That's both the beauty and the curse of this sad state of affairs. So, yeah. Anywho. Moving on to this. I took a look at this, and I'm like, where are they even getting these numbers from? State hits 50,000 in under 12 days. We'll hit 100,000 in 45 days. It's like, well, wait. I remember them saying back in March, when we had the first, if you can believe it, soft lockdown, even though it was hell, we had 100,000 cases. They used the same number. And they used 45 days last time, too, come to think of it. They used that 45 number as a quantifier back on the 13th when they first locked us down. Let's see, though. It took 112 days from the first 50,000 Ohio's to test positive for the coronavirus using what? The antigen test? I mean, what test is being used to diagnose these people? They're not even telling us that. Pushing the state toward the grand milestone on the, wait, no. Oh, we'll hit 100,000. Okay. Psyops. Speed at which cases doubled in Ohio is a sign the pandemic accelerated, propelling the state past the 100,000 mark more quickly than had been thought. What? And again, how do they know that? I don't know anybody who has it. How are they testing it? Nobody's at any of these hospitals. I've been to 20 hospitals in the last month. They're all empty. So tell me, where are these fucking cases, Dwayne? Cleveland? Columbus? Cincinnati? Where I'm not? The big cities? I mean, where are they? They're not in Akron. They're not in Wadsworth. They're not in Worcester. They're not in Mansfield. They're not in Marion. They're not in Ashland. They're not in Canton. They're not effing in Carrollton or Waynesburg or Magnolia or Malvern or East Canton, Louisville, Alliance. So where are these cases? Because yeah, I don't know anywhere in that big. I mean, that's like a 100-mile stretch that I'm talking about. So where are these cases, asshole? Pretty significant escalation, Miller said. In some ways, that's to be expected with an infectious disease, but in my mind, that's still pretty meaningful. We have a lot more infections circulating in the community than we did a few months ago. How do you know that? Although June brought with it a lower number of new cases per day. And that's funny. Remember how they relaxed a lot of things in June? Like, it actually felt like we were living in America again in that month of June. Like, they gave us a relaxation period for, like, maybe, I don't know, like 28 days. And right after that, they started ramping this crap up again. And then at the end of June, those riots started happening and cities started burning. For about a month, new cases have hovered around 1,000 or more per day. The 1,733 new cases on July 30th are the most reported in the state, and according to the Ohio Department of Health. It's faster pace of infections, Miller said, allowed Ohio to add another 50. Allowed Ohio to add another 50,000 cases. I can't even read this shit. It's just deception. Thought this was worth a brief mention. UA to open with hybrid classes. The University of Akron basically is what this is. It was Akron's largest school. They're big in Akron if you're not familiar with Akron. But there's a lot of money. There's a lot of departments, a lot of degree fields you can go to for the University of Akron. Their campus is just huge. I can't even tell you how many city blocks of Akron they now own, but it's enormous. They've also torn down a lot of historic sites like Quaker Square, and I think got rid of a lot of Akron's heritage to make way for this new woke culture, and it shows. This particular one came under fire because they defunded a lot of more meaningful programs like the law school program that Akron U was known for, and replaced it with dance theory and interpretive theater, just really meaningless things that are never going to be useful in society. But I can see how this ultra woke BS is just in our midst right now at the University of Akron. They've been infiltrated for at least 30 years. They've been a terrible place to be, and I'm just glad I never went there. But this article goes on to talk about how they're trying to push people to go to online classes. That's why I put this in here, just kind of point that out, that you're going to see more and more of this in colleges and schools as you go along. At least from what I'm seeing everywhere around the country, the articles I've read, they're trying to push people physically out of school. So they're not talking to each other. They're getting all their information from a screen, Big Brother style. Let us read to you. These are the facts. Check everything on our equivalent to Wikipedia page. And don't go outside. Don't talk to anybody. Yeah, because computers are awesome. I thought I'd include this just for relevance. about how every day this newspaper reminds